just a few days away, and I'm here to predict and break down this whole card from top to bottom, headlined by these two monsters on the screen, Levi Rigters and Jamal Ben Sadik. Which is a big card, to be fair. It's a very big card for kickboxing for the last heavyweight standing tournament that they'll be doing all year long. And this fight here, especially the main event, is a huge fight for kickboxing. They were scheduled to fight before, and now they're finally going to do it. I think they were scheduled 3 years ago, and now they're finally going to get it on, I think, two of the top best fighters in the world right now. So let's dive right into it. We'll start from the bottom of the card, from the prelims. First fight, it's Koma, I forgot his first name, against, I think, Errol Koenig. Two new fighters to glory. I don't think neither of them have ever fought in glory, as you can see here by the records. Two newcomers that they've added to the tournament. As you can see, Koma 8-1, not too much experience, 103 kilos, not too big for heavyweight. Then Koenig, I know he's a Dutch fighter, 47-15. Experiences on the side, 100 kg, smaller heavyweight. I saw was talking a bit of shit on Instagram about some of the fights in this tournament, so clearly he's confident. I'll be honest, guys, don't know too much about these two. Tried to look for clips of them, couldn't find too much. It's a very much a betting prediction here, not too much to go off. I think I'm gonna go for Koenig here, just off of the experience, the fact that he's more experienced fighter. I think might edge him the win, but I'm not too sure here. I'm just excited to see these two. Maybe they'll be a good addition to the roster. They might be good prospects. Up the card we go. Ali Nikita's making a comeback, making a return to the tournament. He's fighting Hebar from Algeria, I believe. We'll look at Hebar first. Newcomer to glory as well. Never fought before in glory. 8-2, 1 draw, 6 knockouts. Not too much experience. I tried once again to look for clips of him on YouTube, Instagram. Couldn't find much, so I'm not too sure. He's pretty big, 113 kg. Nikita, on the other hand, he's already been in the tournament before. He got a win in the first round against Koenig. That was a very big upset. No one really thought he'd win. Then, obviously, last fight he lost to Chroma, but obviously Chroma's a very top elite heavyweight. 17-2, 7 knockouts. Very young. I'm pretty sure he's 21, 22 years old. Also very small for heavyweight. 182 meters. No big at all, the Romanian. But, however, we have seen him before. Very aggressive style, very fearless. He might not hit too hard, might not be the biggest, but he's aggressive, man. He gets his hits in, and I think, especially with a fighter like Hebar, who's not as experienced, not as skilled as Chroma was, I think he'll find this as an easier match. I think a good comeback fight for him, and I think on this fight it could be an upset. Don't know too much about this Hebar guy here, but I think I'm going to go with Nikita here for the Romanian to win. I think he'll get the job done. I think he's durable. I think he'll be aggressive enough to get the points win there. Up the card, we have Furkash. This is a good fight. Furkash from Italy against Nazipov from Russia. Obviously, they're not going to show it. They're both coming back. They've both already been in the tournament before, and they've both been very impressive, you know. We're going to start with Furkash here. Oh, don't know what's going on my screen. He's 0-1 in glory, but he did fight against Azispor, who's a very tough guy, and I'm pretty sure he did get knocked out in that fight with a spinning back fist. However, until that knockout, he was fighting very well, in my opinion. I think he was winning the fight until then. Very strong, very aggressive, very not too skilled. He's very stocky fighter, like a lot of muscles. Not the biggest in terms of height, but you can tell he's strong. He's very durable, you know. 13-4, 6 knockouts. Not too much experience, but I think he proved that he's a tough guy and he can cause some trouble here. Nasipov, on the other hand, he's already got, it says he's 1-2, I'm pretty sure. First round, he fought Argun, from Turkey, beat him up pretty easily, convincingly. Then he fought Buzid last time out, and he gave him a really tough fight. I remember he got dropped to the liver first round, but then he made a really good comeback. Took Buzid to the extra round, I think, and it was a very close fight. I think he just got gassed out by the last round and couldn't get the win there. But it was really impressive. He's a really good defensive fighter, slick, nice head movement, footwork. Boxing heavy, not too many kicks, very nice boxing, crisp. This fight, the size-wise, pretty similar. This is a very close fight. This could go either way. It's another 50-50. I think for me, I'd edge it to Nasipov. I think he's got crispier boxing, better defense, hit and not get hit kind of style. I think for catch is very tough and durable. But in terms of pointing, I think Nasipov has a better chance of outpointing him there. But that could go either way. That's going to be a good fight. Up the card, this is a big fight. Sofian Laiduni, obviously making a return after the knockout loss to Koki Osaro. And Sehad Kepnik, also here. He's always here. This is a very good fight here. I think this is going to be a good scrap. We look at Laiduni first, 7-3 in Glory. Look at the Glory experience there. A veteran in Glory at this point. 39-5, 20 knockouts. Good record. We all know about Laiduni. Experienced fighter. Very good, very technical, smart, moves well. Very crisp boxing. And you know what? For me, whenever I see Laiduni, he doesn't look too special to me. He doesn't look like a strong puncher, fast. He doesn't look the greatest, but the thing with him is he knows how to get the job done. Very good. He always finds a way to win. And he's fought with the best of the best. You know, he's fought Osaro, he's fought Rico Verhoeven, Yanku, the Tank, the Moroccan guy. He's fought a lot of big fighters, big sexy as well. You know, he has the experience on his side here. He's very crisp. I know he's very motivated. I saw a video of him on Instagram saying he's very motivated, you know, to come back because he just got knocked out for the first time in his career against Osaro. So I think he'll come back here motivated. But Kepnik's no scrub. He's a tough guy. We saw, obviously, last time out, he fought Yanku again in a rematch and didn't go his way again. He lost. He got knocked out. Not as badly this time, but Kepnik's a very tough guy. He's a very tough guy. He hits hard. Good chin, you know. Obviously, he's had his doping things in the past, which aren't a great look. But he's also experienced in Glory. He's had a good few fights in Glory. You know, he's tough. He's durable. But when it comes to this matchup, skill-wise, I don't think he's on the same level as Laiduni. I think they're around the same size. I think he hits hard. I think if he puts pressure on Laiduni, he could give him some trouble. But I think Laiduni, he's fought these type of fighters before. He's fought fighters with a higher skill level as well. I think he'll be able to know what to do here. Fight off the back for a bit. Maybe come aggressive, you know. But I think mostly just move around, movement, kicks, slow kicks, jab. And I think he'll be able to outpoint his way to a victory here. As much as Kepnik could upset him though, I think the safe bet there would be Laiduni. Now onto the main card. We start with the one and only Don Snow, the greatest of all time. If I'm being honest, I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to the welterweights and anything below heavyweights and light heavyweights. I'm not too knowledgeable. Those are my two favorite divisions. I think in Glory, heavyweights and light heavyweights, they steal the show. I think just seeing the big boys fight's the best. You know, just fun knockouts, explosiveness. You don't see heavyweights move like that in any other sport, only in kickboxing. But this fight, I've seen both of them fight before, and they're both very explosive, very nice. We can see Özkan hit 87-11. Now that is some experience there. Turkey, you know them Turkish men are crazy as well. The way they fight, Goran Saki style. Wow, that's tough. He's already 1-1. He's 1-1 in Glory. Don Snow obviously 4-2. The face of the organization at this point from Suriname. This is a good fight. Obviously not as much experience on the pro record. I think he came through the TV show with Badahari and Rico Verhoeven, if I'm not mistaken. But this will be a good fight. You know, whenever it's a heavyweight dominated event, there's always one fight with smaller guys who just brawl each other out. You know, they just fight to the death. And I think this might be the fight here. I'm not too sure who will win. You know, Don Snow, obviously the fan favorite, but I do think the experience from this guy, Özkan, might get the job done. I'm going to personally go for Özkan, but I could see Don Snow, of course, getting the job done. Back to the heavyweight fights, to the last man standing. We have Milos Svetečenek. I hope I pronounced his name right. Not too sure. Tricky one. Against Colin George. This is a tough fight. Good fight. I'm pretty sure Colin George is the biggest guy in the tournament, no? Height-wise at least, yeah. So Milos once again, obviously returning. He's been very impressive so far. He has another tough challenge ahead of him, you know. He had to fight the heaviest before in the Moroccan tank. Then he had to fight Big Sexy and Kakeris in the same night, and now he's here facing Colin George. Milos Fetecenek, man, he's really like popped off this year. He's been a very impressive fighter. He's fought a lot of big names this year. He's beaten, I think he made a great upset against Nabil Habaj, or I don't know how to say his name, the tank. I think no one really expected him to go and then win. He got the job done. Then he beat Kakeris on last time out. I think broke his nose with a knee, and then obviously lost to Big Sexy, but even gave Big Sexy a good fight. I think the thing with Milos is he's very explosive. You know, he knows how to use his height well in terms of exploding with his punches, and he has very good fight IQ. Like, he always knows how to get the job done and how to hit his strikes. You know, you never see him clueless. He always has a plan. I think he's coming in as the favourite here for sure. You know, he's been very impressive. But Colin George is a huge guy. Last fight, I think, yeah, it was against Big Sexy, against Horta. He lost. He didn't look bad though. He didn't look bad. I'm pretty sure he broke the arm of the other guy before the first round of the tournament. Colin George is a very big guy. Strong, durable. Look, 22 knockouts out of 24. Hits hard. If you get hit by this guy, it's 99. Obviously, the size difference here is crazy. 134 to 95. Milos is a light heavyweight, man. But the light heavyweights have been doing good in this tournament so far. Like, they've been really proven size don't matter too much, man. When it comes, as soon as you're 95 and above, it's all fair, bro. It's all game. But Colin George, I think he needs to look for that knockout shot against Milos. I don't think he'll be able to outstrike him. I think Milos is just a better technical kickboxer, able to come inside, hit his shots. He does need to come inside and hit his shots, though. I think he needs to be explosive this match. Can't stay on the outside, obviously. Big reach disadvantage. But I think he'll be able to outpoint Colin George unless he gets hit by one of those big right hands. Colin George does possess it. But I do think Milos should get the job done here. I think he's just too skilled and too good fight IQ to lose this one. And after that, we have the tank making a return. Nabil Hachab, I think you say it, the Moroccan, against Nathan Cook. Oh gosh, to me, this is a very one-sided fight. Nabil Hachab, obviously last time out he lost against Milos, as I was talking about, in a very good fight though, don't get me wrong. He didn't get dominated, it was a split decision. Could have gone either way. He fought well. And he's coming in as a big favourite here. He said he's motivated so after that loss. I saw a video of him saying he wants to prove he's still amongst the top. And I think he is, man. I think heaviest guy in the tournament, I think in the whole division. 157 kg. Imagine that guy hitting you. He's a tough guy. He's very, you know, and don't let looks deceive you by this man right here. He's very fast, explosive. And he throws a lot of volume. I think that's his best attribute. His volume, he hits a lot, you know. He has a lot of experience in glory, fought the best of the best, beating a lot of tough guys. And I think he's coming over. The only thing that could be a negative for him is the new rule that they put in place, which is the no clinching. You saw in last event, you get deducted for clinching now, and a big part of his game was clinching after he hit, so they can't hit him back, you know, so he gets the points up over them. Can't do that anymore, you know, so he's going to have to be a bit more wary of his stamina, you know, not gassed out. But that hasn't really been too much of a problem for him. I think Nathan Cook, obviously very inexperienced fighter from the UK. I'm from the UK, if you can't tell by my accent. Last time out, had a very tough outing with Bouzid. Bouzid knocked him out in like 20 seconds. Like, it was, I think, first big punch he threw, he knocked him out with that crazy overhand. It wasn't great. He's coming back here. He's come back on short notice. This was actually supposed to be the tank against Aziz Paul, which would have been a crazy good fight, by the way. But he does have the height advantage. He could get the job done here if he throws front kicks, teeps from the outside, jab. But I think the pressure of Nabil's too good. I don't think Nathan Cook's experienced enough to be able to keep him at distance and like stop his pressure. I just don't see him doing that here. So I do think Nabil's gonna be able to win this quite comfortably. And going up here is... This could be the fight of the night here. This is a big fight. I think everyone's talking about this one. Yanu against Rade Opac. Two big boys, man. Two very hard hitters. We'll start with Yanku. Last time out, to me, a little bit disappointing against Azispor. I feel like he hurt Azispor a lot. Like, I think he almost had him knocked out. He caught him with a big overhand, as he usually does. Wasn't able to finish him and lost the fight on the decision, where the fight was in his hands, man. He was ahead. He was really, all he needed to do was push one more round, but he wasn't able to. But Yanku is really hard, man. He's a really big guy. They listed him here 125, but I think he's 140 now. He hits hard. He's knocked out everyone that he's beaten in Glory. The knockouts against Kepnik, Argun were crazy. He hurt Azispor in his last fight badly. And he hits really hard. He might be, honestly, when it comes to just one singular punch, might be the hardest hitter in the division, in my opinion. Like, if you get caught by Yanku, it's nights out. It's nights out. The only thing with Yanku is he doesn't throw enough, man. It's not the same as I was talking about the tank, Nabil, where he has a lot of volume, pressure, punches a lot, you know, punches in bunches, combinations. Yanku very much just throws one big punch and then waits another 30 seconds to throw the next one. He doesn't throw enough, in my opinion, you know? And of course, he hit hard, but I don't think you can really just throw that one punch every minute and hope you're going to land it, you know, especially at a high level kickboxing match against someone like Opac, you know. I don't know, I think he needs to come in this fight more aggressive, you know. We know he hits hard, but I think he needs to start going on the front foot a bit. He waits for his opponents usually to come towards him so he can counter them, but I think everyone knows his tactic now. We've all seen him, you know. Every fighter's seen him. He's had 5 fights in Glory. And there is a blueprint to beat him. You just have to stay on the outside, which is what I think Opac will be aiming to do here. Opac obviously came off a bad knockout loss to Big Sexy last time out, which was a big upset. Opac came in as the new guy in Glory from one championship, the biggest prospect Glory's ever signed, I think, probably. People were saying he might upset and win the whole tournament, you know, and they just gets knocked out like that. He was winning the fight until the knockout. He did look good, but he just got caught with a right hand. At the end of the day, heavyweight division always happens, you know. But other than that, in one championship, he was really, really impressive. He fought really well. He's fought a lot of good guys in his career. He's a very good kickboxer. I think he's very well-rounded. Kicks, punches, knees. He's just a good kickboxer. I know he does hit hard, but I don't think he doesn't go for the big power punches. You know, he doesn't need to. I think his skills are good enough. You know, he's very well balanced, smart fighter. They have fought before, and a long time ago, like 5 years ago, and Opac did win. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he stopped him. I forgot, but he just out kickboxed him really. Good kicks to the body, jab, 1-2s. Yanku wasn't able to do much. There's a big size difference as well when it comes to height. So it will be hard for Yanku to even reach Opac here. I think in this fight, there is a chance that Yanku catches him. You know, Opacic's chin's a bit dodgy, in my opinion. You know, Big Sexy doesn't really knock people out like that. And he knocked Opac out cold, you know. He was dangling on the ropes, and he doesn't really do that to people. So the fact that he did it to him, it makes you wonder, can he take a punch? And if you can't, Yanku's going to put your lights out if he hits him. And I do think if Yanku catches Opac here, he'll knock him out cold. But I don't think he'll catch him. I think Opac will stay on the outside. He'll fight his smart. I think he knows how much is at stake. He doesn't want to lose again. Wants to win this time. I think he'll just stay on the outside. He's already fought Yanku. Low kicks, middle kicks, jabs, 1-2s. And I think he's just going to out-kickbox him, man. I think he's just more skilled of a fighter. I would want to see Yanku knock him out, to be honest. Just for the highlight reel, so that they could post it everywhere, you know, as they did with his other knockouts. But I don't think it'll happen this time, man. I think Opacic's going to win. Then we have another interesting fight. Chroma against Ristia. Mori Chroma doesn't need to fight. This isn't a last man heavyweight standing fight. It's not in the tournament. This is just a normal heavyweight fight. He doesn't need to fight. He's already qualified for the 8-man tournament in December, obviously after being Bahram with that crazy flying knee. but he's decided that he wants to fight again. I think he wants to stay active, you know. I think he wants to increase his popularity as well, become a star in the organization, and I think that's good, man. That's cool for him. Obviously, he's not fighting a crazy contender here, you know. Ristia, I haven't seen him too much in Glory. He's a big underdog again. He was last time as well. And Chroma's here, I think just he's choosing to stay active, man, which I think is good. Obviously, last fight, we saw what he did to Baha, man. He knocked him out with a knee. It was one of the most impressive knockouts we've ever seen in Glory. He beat Nikita as well that night, and then Wamba before that. He's been on a roll this year as well, man. He's been cruising through as a light heavyweight, another light heavyweight, just like Milos. He's doing really well, man. They're doing really well. As you can see, his record, good experience, good wins in Glory, knockouts. People are comparing him to Remy Bonyanski, the new Remy Bonyanski, with his knees, kicks. Hard fighter. He's a very hard fighter to figure out to fight. He's just tricky, you know. He jumps a lot, athletic, front kicks to the face, high kicks, jumping knees. He's just a whole lot, very explosive, very talented fighter. He's fighting Rista here, which on paper does look like it should be an easy fight for Chroma, you know. I think Chroma's fought fighters like him before, and he's beaten fighters like him before. However, we saw Rista against Ben Sadik last time in the tournament, and he fought well, man. He gave Ben Sadik a hard fight, and that's Ben Sadik, you know, Jamal Ben Sadik, top guy, you know, one of the best in the world. So he gave him a pretty tough fight, held his own, you know, didn't fall, you know, tried his best. But I think Rista, you know, he is a very experienced fighter. He hits hard, he is durable, I'll tell you that. I don't think he's skilled enough though to beat Chroma. I think to beat Chroma you have to be very skilled. And you have to be active. I don't know if Rista's active enough, you know. I think it's all well and good if you're strong and you're durable, but you have to throw, man. You have to be active and get the shots in, man. You're not gonna hit him if you don't throw enough, you know. So I think Chroma's gonna be too active for him, too athletic for him, and just too skilled for him. I think Chroma's really skilled fighter. I think he's gonna be able to just out kickbox him here, man. Just overwhelm him with the kicks and knees, and I could see him knocking him out. Probably a decision win though, but I am going for Chroma here. But upset could happen, man. Could happen. It's not impossible. Then we have a welterweight world title fight between obviously the champion Chico and ElHaj from Morocco, of course, Morocco. So this is an interesting fight. Kwasi obviously fought, who did he fight? I think he's fought Semler his last two fights. If I'm not, no, I am mistaken. He fought Bestati in his last two fights and they drew twice. That was very, very comedic, I guess, how they were able to draw twice. I guess they're just very evenly matched. Kwasi's very good. He's big for welterweight as well. He's huge. He's tall as flip. You know, I think he's like 6 foot something. Very tall, very rangy, skilled. Like, still undefeated in Glory, really. Only there's 2 draws. The champion beat Semler to get the title. That was a big upset. He's fighting ElHaj though. 4-0 in Glory. Moroccan. Obviously aggressive, of course. That comes as a package. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think the Moroccans, the crowd, will definitely rile ElHaj on, as they always do. I think Kwasi's too skilled for him, man. I don't know how else to say it, but I think Kwasi's just too skilled for him. I think he'll keep him at range with the kicks, front kicks, 1-2s. He throws a very good 1-2. He has a weird fighting style, but it works for him, man. And I think those are the best type of fighters. Those fighters, like a bit like Alex Pereira, you know? Very weird fighting styles, but when it gets the job done, and it's hard for the opponent to figure you out, you know, because it's hard to find sparring partners that fight like him. So I think Kwasi's more skilled. I think he'll be able to out kickbox ElHaj here and retain the title. And then obviously the big boy fight, the main event, Levi Rigters against Jamal Ben Sadik. Now there's so much to say. Just look at these two. Huge fight in terms of size, in terms of everything, man. This is great. The fact that they're fighting this early in the tournament as well, it's a bit crazy. One of them's gonna get knocked out of the tournament, you know. Obviously Ben Sadik is making a comeback. Already lost, but it was an injury to Laiduni. Not really a loss. No one really counts it as a loss. This is a crazy good fight. You know, they were scheduled to fight 3 years ago. didn't happen because of the crowd. I think they cancelled it like just before the walkouts. Now it's happening again, man. Scheduled. Hopefully it goes through this time. This is, I'd say, one of the bigger fights in Glory that they can make, man. Like, Levi Rigters, obviously, #1 contender in Glory right now. Like, after Rico Verhoeven, he's the #1 guy, you know. He's beaten a lot of big contenders. He's beaten Bahram twice. He's beaten Kuki Osaro, beaten Mahedin, had a good fight with Hababez. He beat someone else as well, I forgot who. Okuyurendao. Just a good, skilled fighter. Rigters is a very skilled fighter, you know. Especially for heavyweights, you know. He's not just your normal heavyweight. He just comes in for his bombs. He's very skilled. He has a very wide arsenal, you know. Spinning back fists, knees, front kicks, high kicks, 1-2s. He has the whole package, man. And I think that's why he's so successful. You just don't know what he's gonna hit you with. He can hit you with so much. It's very hard to prepare for someone like this. You know, he's very big, like 6'7", very experienced in Glory now. Even though he's a young fighter, he is experienced for the top level now. 2 fights against Rico as well, giving him good fights, especially his second one with Rico. Gave him a good fight. But he's fighting Jamal Ben Sadik, man. This guy, obviously, creme de la creme, man. This guy's been at the top for years now. I think he's been here for like 10 years now, I think. Maybe even more, maybe like 15. He's been in Glory for a long time. He's fought legends, man. Peter Ertz, Rainbow Nyansky, Daniel Gita, Verhoeven, obviously. Adegboy, he has some very good performances. Hard hitter, you know, one of the hardest hitters in kickboxing history, in my opinion. As you can see, 29 knockouts from 38. However, the big question here, I think, in this fight, is Ben Sadik still the Goliath, the one that we knew back in the day? Is he still in his prime? Because he came back, obviously, his last 2 fights, not as impressive in my opinion, man. And not as impressive. He fought Okuyurendao and Rista. Obviously he won, but he wasn't aggressive. I think he looked a bit, not to say scared, but a bit wary, as if, you know, yeah, I would say scared, as if he was scared to get caught, didn't want to take any risks, you know. It looked like he didn't really want to finish them. Obviously, he got to finish off Urendao because he broke his arm and he just kicked him in the head and he couldn't defend it. So I guess he'll count that as a knockout, but he didn't look like he had that killer mentality in him anymore. But that could be because he knew he was fighting fighters that weren't on his level, so he could just well have cruised to decisions, you know. He could have won that fight however he wanted to. Just took the easy way to win. But it's going to be a hard fight here, man. I don't think Rigters has ever fought someone like Sadik in the terms of the size, you know. The size combined with the strength and the experience, you know. Obviously, he fought Rico, who has the experience, but Rico's a much different fighter from Sadik. Very technical, very smart, very cardio-based, where Sadik's just a powerhouse, you know, just comes forward with punches and bunches with the straight right hands, knock out anyone. But then again, Sadik hasn't fought someone like Rigters in a long time, man. Rigters is a very good fighter with his knees, his front kicks, his athleticism. You could compare him a bit to, I'd say, a bigger version of Remy Bonyansky, maybe. Or maybe someone like, I don't know, maybe a Tyrone Spong. He doesn't hit as hard as Tyrone Spong, but, you know, just a good, very skilled big fighter, you know. And I think it's a really 50-50 fight. I've seen a lot of people on social media being very swayed about this fight. Could go either way, and so am I, man. I think I'm gonna make another video just focusing on this fight, man. I think I need to go a lot deeper into this fight, you know, so stay tuned for that one, because there's so much to uncover here, so much to go through. But I think if I just had to make a quick prediction now, I think Sadik will come out strong first round. I think he knows that this is a hard fight. I think he needs to unleash the Goliath back. He needs to come back with his old style aggressiveness. And I think he's going to go there, try and knock him out. But I think Rigters will be able to weather the storm. I think he'll be able to survive first round, you know, because he's been through it, man. He's already fought someone aggressive like him. He's fought Bahram before, you know. Bahram's as aggressive as they get. Obviously not as strong, but I think he'll be ready. I think Rigters is a very prepared fighter. Focus on game plans. I think he'll be able to weather the storm, and I think if he does survive that first round, chop the legs. I think he needs to do, kick the legs of Sadik out so he can't come forward as much. I think he's the more skilled fighter, man. I think he'll be able to mix the kicks in with the punches, throw some nice hooks. His right overhand's really dangerous as well. I think he'll be able to outstrike Sadik, man, out kickbox him, man. I think obviously at their distance as well, they're gonna be fighting a lot on the outside. They're very big guys, long reach. I think he'll be able to outstrike him. I think Sadik, I saw them in the little face-off they had. He thinks this is an inexperienced fighter, but Rigters is really proven at the top level now. He has a lot. Look, he's already had 12 fights in glory at the top level. You know, he's as experienced as they come, man. And I think he'll be able. I think he'll be ready for Sadik. I think there's a lot of footage on Sadik, and I think he'll know what Sadik's gonna try and do, and I think he'll be able to counter it. I think with his elusiveness, his nice crisp boxing matched up with the kicks, I think he'll be too skillful for Ben Sadik. I think he's a powerhouse. He's strong. He could definitely catch him. Rigters doesn't have the greatest chin, but I think I don't want to go off just the fact that he might catch him. You know, I think Rigters is he's the new generation in my opinion, man. He's the one leading the new generation. I think he's gonna be too much for Sadik. Too skilled, just too good on the night, you know. Like, it's all good to have all that experience, but skills pay the bills, and I think it might anger a lot of Glory fans, a lot of Moroccan fans. But I'm gonna go for Rigters here, man. But obviously, this one is very 50-50. Could go either way. And I'm definitely gonna make another video on this fight here, because this is one of the biggest fights of the year in my opinion. And this is a great card. I went through all these fights, a very great card. Please let me know if you agree with my predictions or not in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts, your guys' opinions. And I'm gonna be making more content like this, man. I feel like Glory Kickboxing, a very great sport, and no one's really making videos about it. I don't know why. You know, I think it's a rising sport right now, has a lot of potential, and I think you fans deserve someone to make these prediction videos and analyze the fights and fighters. So yeah, I can't wait to see this fight this weekend. I'll be there as well in Netherlands to see it live, and yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a great card. Hope you guys stay safe, man. Peace.